Hey guys, so as promised, I've always been wanting to do this video, and the idea basically around this video is, everybody talks a lot about Shopify Plus costing $2,000 a month, and is it really worth the money that we pay for it? From a purely financial perspective, if you just factor Shopify Plus's discount on credit card processing, probably it's only worth it if you hit, I think the last numbers I saw was around $800,000 to $1 million in sales a month. If you hit that kind of numbers, then the credit card processing fees discount will add up. I've heard people say $300,000, but I don't think the math adds up. And then you also have to, of course, take into account that you have a lot of these buy now, pay later platforms, which you don't get really that big of a discount with Shopify on, and so it doesn't really translate necessarily all your sales being on the Shopify checkout the same way, and so then it plays a different role, once you factor in PayPal Express and all of those. So I think the purpose of what I'm going to try to do today, and I'm going to try to stick to 30 minutes or less, is to really just cover specifically tactics that you as a brand can take by utilizing checkout and the ability to customize checkout that could make you $2,000 a month in, I guess, profit or enhancement in sales. $2,000 in sales is not necessarily $2,000 profit, and I understand that cost, ratio is not necessarily equal to yourselves. But let's just, for argument's sake, say, look, you're going to save some money on credit card processing, but let's see if we can generate at least $2,000 to $3,000 a month just with some upsells, with some cool features, some money savings tips, and other stuff. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've done. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've seen others do, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I, full disclosure, yes, some of the stuff is stuff that I have apps for, that I built. But to be fair, the reason I built those are because I know that they work, and they work for me in the brands that I've consulted for and that I've run. And so everything I'm going to say here, you don't necessarily have to use my app for this, meaning you can either build it yourself, you can find another app to do it, you could hard code it with a developer. I mean, it's not really so much as a sales pitch as much as it's like, here are the stuff that I know works, here are the stuff that I've tested and played with, and hopefully some of this stuff is really is a good indicator. Now, for those who don't know me, I am Zevi Huberger, or otherwise known as Mark Huberger. I've been in e-commerce for about 18 years. I led digital marketing at B&H Photo for 9 years, and then I moved into the Shopify space. So my actual career started off in a very large $1 billion plus a year business that had 2,500 employees. So it's been a long time. It took a while to sort of integrate and to go into the space where I'm a nobody and I don't have anybody, and everything has to sort of be done by myself. It wasn't something I was used to. And so for the last 5 years, I've consulted and run a beauty brand. And so the brand's name is Elevation, and I'm going to use that as a lot of examples because I'll show you a lot of the stuff that we've done. And then eventually I ended up building these apps, Navidium and Promo Pirates, which is our second one. We're launching Navidium Bump soon, which a lot of the stuff that I'm going to show you today, we've incorporated and built into the app primarily as a way to give merchants a tremendous amount of flexibility that doesn't really exist today on the market in the way that I want to see it. And so, I'm partially building it for myself, but then taking what I'm building and blowing it up for others as well. So that's the short intro. I'm already at 3.5 minutes, so I apologize, and I'm going to jump right into it. Now, I'm going to try to, I made myself a little sheet over here to cover widgets, shipping protection, URLs, live chat, bumps, memberships, SMS opt-in, reviews, and honey. So I'm going to keep this on my other screen as I go along, and I'm sort of going to try to work through them all and hopefully get to all of them within the next 30 minutes. Now, when possible, I'm going to try to tell you, hey, some apps that I know that do good jobs at this, or, if it's my app, I'll tell you, hey, why choose my app? And I know that this is a bit self-promotion, bite me, I guess, so to say. Like, I am spending the time making this video. I'm going to give a lot of value of stuff that I know works. So, yes, I'm going to upsell my own products. There's not much that you can do about this.
Can you even tell that?
All right, I don't know if you caught that, but one of my kids walked in here. So I have 4 kids. So I'm going to go back to jump into this right now, and we're going to talk about widgets. And the idea of a widget, what I call a widget essentially is an element that you add to a page with some kind of additional purpose. Okay, so it could be And there's a few different types, and I'm going to show you a couple examples that I came across. They're by no means, the only examples. I've seen a lot of different ones. I'm going to start with Purple. Purple, if you don't know, is a mattress company. I have no relationship with them. I just randomly was looking for some stores that I thought did a good job. Now, they seem to have a very aggressively overdone replacement checkout that they've done. I believe it looks to me like it's still Shopify, but it looks like it's most likely some form or another of a very heavily customized checkout, or they're using completely a third party. But while the actual design is a little bit irrelevant, here are some widgets that I would refer to sort of bring your attention to. So they have this huge little banner over here that says, rest easy with Purple, 10-year warranty, 1-year warranty, 100-night trial, flexible financing, free returns, free shipping. So they have all these different let's call them, sales messages inside their checkout that is easily visible as you're putting in your information and that you can sort of reference to. And so there's lots of brands that do this. I've seen, others do it. And I think this is something that is very often missed. The opportunity in real estate in Shopify's checkout that you can take in order to increase your conversion rate and also share a little bit about your brand. And so when the customers are about to check out, to get that extra added experience of being able to say, hey, we ship 2 days. We have a 60-day return policy, guaranteed replacements, whatever it is that you kind of want to say as your ability. Another really good example, and unfortunately I don't have an example of this, is promoting your buy now, pay later features. Unfortunately for most of us on Shopify, besides for Shop Pay, no one else is able to sort of show an accelerated checkout unless you're basic with PayPal, Google Pay, and Shop Pay. I've heard rumors that Afterpay, Affirm, and Sezzle, some of these other apps may soon get the ability to put that in there, but at the moment that doesn't exist. Okay, so you have Shop Pay, PayPal, Google Pay, and I think Apple Pay and Android Pay and I think Apple Pay also if you're using an Apple device. So those are the only ones that come up over there on the top as Shop Pay Express, Pay Express options. And so what I was finding was happening a lot to us was customers would want to pay with Affirm or Sezzle or whoever it is else that you're using, Split It, Klarna, or any of these other apps, Afterpay, and when they get to the store's checkout, they see, PayPal and Shop Pay and Google Pay. And they think that those are the only ways to pay. They don't know that they can use a credit card. They don't know that they can get to the payments page in checkout and not use Express Checkout and still get to that. And that became a huge pain for us because customers were bouncing. They wanted to pay $24 a month, not pay, with PayPal or Google Pay and not have that option to put their credit card in or pay with that. And so we were constantly getting questions of like, hey, how do I pay with ForPay? You said I could pay with Afterpay. I don't see Afterpay. So an easy way around that would be just to design a nice little Canva banner and stick that in as a static HTML messaging into your checkout that say, hey, you can pay with PayPal or Express or any of these using just skip the Shop Express, fill out your information and continue. So to sort of guide them to that payment page so that they can put that information in. How does that increase your sales? Well, very simply. You're losing customers who want to specifically pay with those channels, but thought that they could, but once they got to checkout, they realized that doesn't seem to be available. So being able to put that in is a huge deal. I think I saw someone do it. I didn't see anybody that I can save here, but that's another example of something like this where it would be a static image that you can add. Another really good one is this one. Have any questions, ask an expert, talk to a real person, chat. That kind of skips over my list to the live chat. And I think this one's a must. I'm very surprised by the amount of Plus stores I see who don't have a live chat button inside checkout. By default, when you install Reamaze or Gorgeous or whatever, they don't put the widget into checkout. It's only installed on the main part of the site. And once you get to checkout, you need to unlock checkout.liquid and actively put that widget in there in order to get it on checkout. And why is checkout so important? Because if you're talking to somebody and walking somebody through the checkout, the purchase process, you can stay with them until they've purchased. And I've found that when you talk to customers and you're having this conversation back and forth, staying with them till the end really helps enhance that experience. And that makes a tremendous difference in your conversion rate if they're already one of those customers who have reached out in live chat. Having to say goodbye to them because they've converted into the checkout and now lost that checkout option is a big, huge it's a weak spot. It's a weak spot that you can otherwise fix. Another really good example that we've come up with is we use Reamaze, but I'm pretty sure you can do this with most live chat apps. You can do prompts. So in our case with Elevation, if a customer starts to scroll up and leave the checkout, we can have live chat pop up and say, hey, do you need any help? Did you have any questions? And we can help them. In our case also, we have a prompt that says, hey, if you're looking to pay with Afterpay, Affirm, or Sezzle, or any other buy now, pay later option, or even just a credit card, don't use ShopPay Express, don't use Express Checkout. Continue to fill out your information, and you'll find all the options on your payment page. That helped us reduce a lot of those messaging. You can do it lots of other ways. You could do it with a opt-in monster pop-up or a Just Uno pop-up that comes into checkout. But again, I like to see, as much as you can hard code into the store, you're going to have a little bit of a faster loading checkout, and you don't have to rely on it that much. But again, it's optional, and I'm just giving you other examples. So putting live chat is almost a no-brainer. It's a basic HTML. It's something that pretty much anybody can do. A lot of these sites have, instructions on how to add pages to a custom HTML, like custom code, and it says, put this in the header, put this in the body, in the middle, so you should be able to easily put Reamaze or Gorgeous into your checkout. Highly, highly recommend it. I can't tell you how valuable that is to merchants. In general, live chat is tremendously helpful, and I've done a video in the past talking about it. Just having the customer service team be able to do draft orders and then send them a link to checkout is huge, and it makes a ton of money for us, and we incentivize our customer service agents by tracking who did the most draft orders, and then that converted into sales because you can sort by staff login in Shopify. You can see sales by staff login, and that adds a lot of money. And we play a game, and we say whoever raises the most amount of money gets a bonus of $300 that week. And for salespeople and for customer service agents in the Philippines making $500-600, maybe $700 a month, an extra $300 is a tremendous amount of money for them. And they really, really enjoy that ability to have this little game that they play between each other to see who wins. We've done things like export that to a CSV sheet and run and have like a dashboard that they can see, and they can all see who's ranking the highest. And I can make a separate video if you want to see like walkthrough of how you would build something like that. But for the purpose of checkout, that's not relevant. But the cart, putting in chat into that is a huge money maker. It will guarantee make you a couple $100. As long as you have some volume and you have a live chat team to support it, there's not a question in my mind that it will make it. I would say any of these stuff will add a little bit of money as well. Maybe not a tremendous amount, but it will definitely add some. Some other things that you can do. I'm going to go to our Elevation store right now, and I'll use some examples that we did in our custom checkout. And so here's some examples. So one of the things we did is we have, so here's three things. One is going to be an SMS opt-in I'm going to cover. So something to understand, right? A lot of brands have, if you're doing like a fashion brand or something like that, and you have a very normal process where they're going, collections to product to cart to checkout. Some of this stuff heavily aggressively focused on checkout is maybe not so necessary. But if you don't have a traditional funnel, and your funnel maybe is landing pages to straight to checkout, here's where checkout becomes even more important. And that was very, very important to us because we do a lot with landing pages. And we send them directly to checkout using URLs, like checkout URLs. And so for us, sometimes the first time they've ever been to the actual site, Elevation Store, is when they've been over here on the checkout. And so for us, something like this, having a banner to try to create that to entice them to get through checkout quicker is super, super important for us because they haven't had the opportunity to even be on our store before. Again, live chat again is very important. And by the way, to talk about live chat, you see there's two prompts. You can see here's that example where I said, want to pay in installments with Afterpay or Affirm. Step 1, don't click ShopPay. Fill out your contact information, shipping details. Step 2, on the payment page below the credit card form, you'll be presented with the option to choose Affirm, Afterpay or Affirm. Step 3, select your choice and click complete purchase, whatever, right? They can click for help, and immediately it'll send a message to one of our reps that are available. Another example is here's one that pops up if they try to leave, right? If they try to leave, it'll pop up and say, hi there, can we help you with something? Since I've been on the store a bunch of times, these messages are a bit older, and so I'm just showing you kind of what those would look like. And so those are some of the prompts that you can set up for live chat to pop up during the checkout process. So this specific widget over here, I've seen a lot of stores, like for example, these guys do it. Pure Vita had one. I think it disappeared because I hadn't been there in a while. Let me see if I refresh if it'll still do it. But the ones that I've seen do it have never done it in the way that I have done it at Elevate. Oh, so you have like this. Hurry, your order is reserved for 9 minutes and 56 seconds. This is the most common version. It's probably some kind of an app. I don't know who it is, but I hard-coded and built our own. And the reason I built our own because I wanted to do two things. I wanted to highlight that we have a limited quantity available, and I specifically wanted to call out a very specific product in the cart. This was our key product. This was the product people were coming for. These were sort of the upsells that were bought as part of a bundle. I wanted them to be able to say, hey, the specific device is selling out. Catch it now. And so actually in our Navidium Bumps app that we're in the Navidium Bumps suite, which is coming into Navidium as a whole, we are going to have a widget like this, and you'll be able to set rules and say what type of products you want, what products should be the highlight, and when it should be displayed, and for what users it should be displayed. And I'll talk about that if I have time in the second half of this sort of video. But here's one type of widget, for example, that could really, really help push people through checkout and make a big difference. Another one is frequently asked questions, right? People have a lot of questions. They want to know. Adding frequently asked questions is very easy. It's a hard-coded in our store, but again, that is something that we're going to roll out as a bump, as a widget that will be available in Navidium Bumps. But you can also have a developer hard-code this and find a way to do it. And I believe, similar to how, we showed you in Purple, where you can do something like this, you could do a frequently asked questions, and that could be tremendously helpful to customers. Another huge one that was huge for us was SMS subscriptions. Now, full disclosure, this is a big gray hat, okay? Because officially, you're not supposed to pre-check people. You're not supposed to allow people in. I'll tell you right off the bat, this is definitely a big gray hat, possibly even black hat. But I do it, and I've never had a problem. And so, as you know, you're not supposed to pre-check SMS, right? Honestly, I really shouldn't be saying this one. But basically, one of the things we did, the truth is we A/B tested a lot, and it's not always the case, but basically, if you start typing the phone number, we wrote a script that will automatically check the SMS buttons for you. And the reason why we did it specifically like that was because we wanted it to be checked, but we didn't want that if someone comes and looks at it and tries to see, hey, are we being compliant, or even customers right away when they come to see it. So if they start typing their phone number, or if they use an email filler, on the first time it would have checked it for them, right? It's not doing it now because it was pre-filled, but basically it will auto-check this for you. That's basically a small little script that we added. That adds a tremendous amount of subscribers who don't uncheck it, which then leads to obviously a tremendous amount of money. It's something that you could only do in Plus because you would need to customize the code, and you can only customize the code if you have Shopify Plus. So that's an easy one that anybody who's willing to, bend the rules slightly or even a lot, this is something that I would, do. You might not want to do it. Again, it's entirely up to your brand. Every brand has a different level of what comfort level they feel. Some brands, pre-check email, some don't. It's really up to you as a brand. I'm mentioning it as something that I've tested and seen it work well for me, but of course, I'm being very clear. Gray hat, possibly even black hat. You don't have to do it. It's not necessarily recommended, but it makes a lot of money, and you could do it if you have access to checkout on Shopify Plus. Obviously, having a nice experience, showing them sort of the walkthrough through checkout is important. Every brand does some different versions. Let's talk about Pura Vida for a second. So Pura Vida has a really cool gift box option. So they have like an upsell where you can add a gift box. They have perks, another banner that they show over here. They obviously have this clock thing that they've added. They have a little message that says almost there, add $19 to checkout. It's probably just pulling in from a script that tracks this, and based on that, it does it. So here are other examples of stuff that are all, going to give you potentially more money if you continue with that, right? And so, give you an exact amount? No, but I can guarantee you that if you have a good gift box and you make a good offer, it will make money. Now, what we have started to test is what happens if we do a gift box, but we automatically add it. And they can easily remove it. So instead, this box would say remove, and it would automatically add it over here, and will customers complain? We tested it a little bit, and I had one of our merchants tested, and the complaints were very minimal from what I remember. He did it for a while. I would have to check with him to get exact numbers, but it's a huge, easy way to get more cash into your coffers. And NVIDIA Bumps is something that supports that, and will continue to support that going forward. If you don't know NVIDIA Bumps, it's a beta platform that we built for personalization and upselling that is coming out and going to be available to all our NVIDIA merchants as an additional service, so to speak. And we've been beta testing with some merchants right now. It kind of is like a mash between rebuy, but also personalization and other stuff as well. So it's kind of complicated to really explain. It, in theory, it could replace rebuy, but it's not really a rebuy because it's built on a different structure and a different platform. But the easiest way to understand it is, yes, upsells, but also being able to do any of these widgets. And that, while today we don't have all these widgets available there, we are going to be rolling those out in the coming months. And so those are all going to be features that you'll be able to have soon. I'm not going to talk much more about NVIDIA Bumps because it's just not ready yet for prime time. It's getting there, but it's just not fully there yet. But these are all different ways that you can obviously increase your value. Another really good one I saw was these guys. They have their reviews in here. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't personally love this layout so much because I think it takes up too much space. And if you had a lot of items in the cart, this would, get really messy really quickly. What I have seen before, and I just couldn't think of the store, so I can't display it today, is having like a review, either scroll, like two of them that you can scroll, or having scroll buttons and you can read reviews. Cooler would be if it was tied to the specific product. So like if it was like integrated into Yudpo and it can pull it indirectly from Yudpo, that would be kind of a cooler version of it. This seems to be just like more generic customer reviews. Other examples would be if you have a very good Trustpilot or Google Seller Ratings reviews, highlight that, put that into checkout, test a couple make a couple banners, even if they're static, just in Canva, test them and see, what happens when you do one like this and one like that, and that could be tremendous for you. To go back into, the biggest one that I know and I can guarantee will make money because almost every merchant I know has made enough money to, in theory, cover Shopify Plus a subscription. And if you're listening to this and you're one of my NVIDIA merchants and you haven't made $2,000 a month on more or less consistently, but you have like higher sales, so that means you have a very low take rate, please reach out to me. I will sit down with you, we'll schedule a call, and I'll try to figure out like ways that we can improve it so that your take rate will be higher. There's no question that most merchants who use NVIDIA are making any place between $2,000 and $5,000 a month as long as they have a decent volume and are doing decent volume of sales. If you do very, very low volume sales, hey, you don't have enough customers. But if you're doing decent volume and you're on Plus, and I would expect you to make any place between $3,000 to $5,000 at the bare minimum. That seems to be sort of the $2,000 to $5,000 seems to sort of be that benchmark. And then obviously higher volume stores I have stores doing $55,000 a month pretty consistently, just in shipping protection alone. So if you don't know what shipping protection is, here's an example from Shinesty. Shinesty uses us, and basically it's a little widget. That's strange. We should fix that for them. I just noticed that they have NVIDIA on the product and Shinesty shipping protection over here. Well, I'll tell them to fix it after this video. It's a little awkward, but yeah, this is basically the widget. It's a little widget that we add. We can add it here. We can add it on the shipping page. We can add it on both. We can put it in the cart if you're not on Plus. And then basically it's a little widget similar to if you're familiar with Route. And basically what it does is promise your customers that if anything happens to the package, you're going to reship it. You're probably doing that anyways. But what we're seeing is any place between 40 and 80% take rates. It's automatically added as soon as they hit checkout. The customer can take it off if they don't want it. And if they flip the switch, it should remove it. Depending on the store, they're a headless store, so it's a bit more complicated. In their case, we have to refresh the page. Most of the time, we don't have to refresh the page, and the widget should come back. It doesn't always, but it should. Oh, it is. It's back. It just took a second to load. They have a very complicated build, but in general, this is kind of what you get a little widget, and you can turn that on and basically add more product. That means basically increasing your average order value without increasing any cost to your store. So every order, if you have 40 to 80% of orders are 40 to 80% of all your orders are protected, you could be adding any place between $1 to $5, $7, $8 depending on your average order value. Even more, I have merchants charging $100 also depending on how large your average order value is, and that's almost a guaranteed win. Like, I've almost never come across. I've seen one or two stores who said to me, hey, I think my conversion rate tanked a little bit. We never really found the conclusive evidence yet proving it. One or two stores have, found it. But again, definitely worth a test, definitely worth seeing if it works well for your store. From my experience, customers don't complain. We ran it ourselves in Elevation Store. So in Elevation Store, if we go back here, we have it in our store on the shipping page, and we're seeing customers who are, we see 65% of all customers at it. I need a phone number in there. And we charge about $9 on a $150 average order value. And it works tremendously well for us. So obviously shipping protection is a huge win. Almost doesn't cost you, it doesn't really cost you much money. The app is like up to $99 a month. If you're like enterprise, it goes down to up to as low as free for other stores. So that's an easy win. Almost any store can benefit from that. We built a nice little app, claims portal, so you can manage claims, and a lot of really cool features. Anti-fraud is coming soon, probably next week, I hope. And so there's lots of features there. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. I've written so much. If you're in the Plus group, just search, Nevidium Shipping Protection. You'll find customers who have left, other members who use us who have left good reviews. We have 80, as of today, we have 80 or 81 5-star reviews on Shopify, all real customers. All of them have been exceptionally well received and have done really well with it. So that's as much as I'm going to cover in the video. That's another one that's guaranteed isn't going to make most of that $2,000 back. Another real easy win is these stuff. So many stores, and I see this almost every single day because we're doing lots of testing. We're installing people into Nevidium into stores, and we constantly see Honey, Capital One Shopping, and some of these other apps popping in. And they, they'll automatically add coupons. Capital One adds it automatically. This guy's going to add most likely affiliate 10 to Shinesty, and they're going to lose their pants on this because on this sale they're going to basically lose money now when they never had to have lost it. The important thing to understand about Honey, Capital One Shopping, all these coupon extensions is that they're a passive marketing tool. That means they'll pitch it to you as if they're bringing you customers, but that's not what's happening. What's actually happening is that the customer is purchasing from your Google ads, your Facebook ads, your TikTok ads, email, SMS, whatever channel it is, and when they get to checkout, Honey and Capital One are just bursting in there and grabbing that traffic away from you. So if you have them as an affiliate, get rid of them. Like absolutely, you won't lose a penny. And on top of that, you can reclaim back this margin. And we're seeing on desktop, we're seeing about 10 to 15% of all traffic being connected in one way or another to either Capital One Shopping or Honey. It's probably one of the easiest little blocks that you can do. And so we built an app for it. We call it Promo Pirates. I thought it was a cute name. Unfortunately, because Shopify didn't want to accept our app into the App Store for just Shopify Plus, and this could only be blocked on Plus because the fact that it's in the discount box is in Plus. So even if I blocked it on the cart, it wouldn't help me because in checkout, it would be re-added again, and I couldn't do anything about it. And so pricing-wise, we tried to make it fair. There's like 2 or 3 apps that I know that do this. There's Clean Cart, but they were like very expensive, and I thought it wasn't worth the money. So I ended up building my own version that I thought made more sense. And so it's basically up from $30 up to $150 maximum. I think Clean Cart, when we talked to them, they started at like $300 and went up to like $900 a month. We were supposed to have paid them something like $650 when we looked at them, and I was like, hell no, not happening. I'm going to build this myself and let you all enjoy it. So this is the pricing. You don't need to download an app for it. You just sign up on the store. You basically pick a store, put your information in. You need our help. We'll install and make sure everything works for you. And it's a fairly easy thing to do. And it's almost instantly guaranteed going to be a savings. We try to show you how much you save, how many times you block. It's still a bit beta, and we're improving it. We have a list of like 15 extensions that we found that we're going to block now. And we're also building a crawler that's going to crawl coupon store sites and let you know which coupon codes are being shown on coupon websites, even if we can't block them because it's like a manual kind of thing. But at least we'll be able to show it to you. And I would assume those features should come out sometime mid Q3 or the end of Q3. But that's, something that you can start doing today immediately if you have any coupons. Some people will tell you, oh, you could just give Honey a coupon code. True, but you don't have to, right? You can block them. And if you block them, you'll save that money and keep that margin for yourself. I've yet to ever have any proof or even in our own testing see that Honey or Capital One Shopping or Klarna or any of these other apps bring value to you or actually generate revenue. They don't. Customers aren't going to abandon you because Honey is because there's no code for Honey. And so while it will pop up on the store and show that there's Honey, when they try to click it, it will reject the code and will not allow it. Your own codes will work. Your automatic codes will work. All of that stuff works fine. It's just Honey that's getting blocked as a Chrome extension. And so that's another easy win. So I'm coming close on the 30 minutes. I covered widgets, I covered shipping protection, I covered live chat, I covered a little bit of bumps, I covered SMS opt-in, I covered honey and reviews. So the only one left I think I would cover is memberships. And it's really interesting, and I hate that I'm shooting my mouth off a little bit, but we've been working on something like this for Plus stores to launch really soon. It's not just going to be for Plus stores, but it's coming really soon. And it's going to be part of Nvidium also. And so basically, I really love this. It's like, so basically you're sort of offering your own Amazon Prime membership, right? And so you give the option for them to join for, let's say, $20 a year recurring, and for that they get, let's say, a free item, free shipping on all the orders, 20% back on future orders, store credit, even a gift card for $20. And you could test the larger numbers. I think you should try to stay under the $50 mark. I think anything higher than that, people are going to feel less comfortable paying. So you would want to do something like $30 a year, or $10 a month is an easy one. And so essentially, it's like a subscription. They add it; it adds the product to the checkout immediately. And so now you have the K Club for $20. They even added a free gift. And so what I'm trying to do with Nvidium is I want to build it into we're in the middle of building it in a way that you as a merchant will be able to bet. By the way, look, 3 coupons found, and I bet it will kill them. I mean, it's constant. But one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to help give you a platform to manage it. So you'll have the subscription, but you'll be able to see if someone has paid, if someone hasn't paid, how long of membership they have. You'll be able to cancel those memberships. You'll be able to also automate the process of what rewards are given them. So sending them that monthly gift card will be able to be automated. A gift on their birthday, and a lot of these other rewards as part of the membership will be integrated and automated inside the platform. And so that's something that's coming soon. But again, you don't have to do it with me. You can do it yourself. You can just have it as a product. But I think that is an easy way to quickly enhance and add money to your store. And if you could, convert 5% or 3% of all your orders with this, that easily can add up to, $20 a year. And you can probably generate, $500, $600, $700 a month just in these memberships, adding new members every single month that can really help enhance your store and cover those plus stores. So I think all of these things are easy ways. I think, of course, I know it sounds like I'm just pushing my product, but yes, 100% shipping protection is probably the fastest, easiest way to start generating that revenue, and I can promise you it works. Like, I have yet to have somebody tell me, hey, no, it didn't work for us. Like, we didn't make money. Some people feel like it's icky. Hey, why should I do it? We have some new really crazy features coming out that are going to help reduce some of the customer risks. So we're launching something called Nvidium Smart Mode. But outside of Nvidium Smart Mode, I still think that most merchants I've come across who trusted me and went with it, they found that I was right and that the customers don't push back against it, and they absolutely don't care. And then, of course, honey blocking. Honey is really incremental value. And again, that's more wish-wash, because there are some stores that don't have a lot of coupons, so they never do discounts, and so honey has nothing on them. So maybe it's not such a huge issue. I would say download Chrome, from Chrome the Honey and Capital One Shopping. Capital One Shopping will only work in the US, so you have to use like a US VPN if you're not in the US. Test it, and I guarantee you there's lots of revenue to be lost there, influencer codes and other stuff that you can easily capture, regain, and then easily make a couple $100 a month that will, that's coming back as like free cash. Other stuff you could do is skip the line. I've written about that before. Honestly, it's like 30 minutes, and I'm going over the limit, and I really didn't want to, so maybe we'll do a part 2 to this. But all of these stuff are things that you can do today with minimal resources, minimal cost. Nvidium that won't cost you anything. Like, I'll give you a free month if that's what it takes for you to try, if you don't believe me, and let you see it for yourself. But that's easy to cover your plus subscription. Blocking honey is an easy one. And all the other stuff are more incremental stuff. So I don't think, live chat, yes, I can guarantee you if you have a good live chat support team and you have a good formula for how you go about it, you will recover revenue lost and you will increase the average order basket. And there's no question about it. And the same for some of these other little, stuff that you can do, upsells that you can do. We all know those rebuy upsells. The Nvidium Bump is bringing a whole bunch of really cool upsells that are going to come out. But all of these things are ways that you can increase. And it blows my mind. I see Plus stores who didn't even bother to update their logo on checkout. And so they're using like the static text name of your store as their checkout. And I just don't get it. Like, it makes no sense to me. You're paying this $2,000 a month. Why aren't you leveraging what you potentially have to leverage? And so I talked a lot. I talked really fast. I apologize, but I think that if you go through all of these things, you will find a couple things that you can do today that will help recover some of that $2,000 outside of the credit card processing, outside of flows, which is now technically available for all the other ones. And I think that just checkout customization alone is tremendous. I know Shopify is going to offer soon the ability to add like sections into checkout. I think that will come soon. I think what we're building with Nvidia Bumps is a little bit more interesting, and I can't wait to show you that, but I'm not going to do that today because I think it's just going to take too long, and I think this is really enough value, so to speak, for now to sort of go through some of those highlights. So I hope this is helpful. You know, if you see this on Twitter or you see this on Facebook, or I'm going to try to send it around to some channels, wherever you see it, you're more than welcome to comment below, and I'll happily share, you know, other tips, other pages, stuff I've seen. If you have any questions about how things work, I'm happy to share with you and talk to you about it. Be well.